Alright, and then I'll explain the same thing with this coaster design. This is actually probably one I'm most proud of, even though it's actually not really optimized. You can actually see there's like way too many of these cars. I just made the station as long at the end to just fit as many cars as possible and just never bothered because the cars actually finish where the exit is anyways, so I'm not really too bothered. I just left it how it is. When I was designing a compact wooden, which is very easy to do, it's designed to do this. My thought process is, say I want to 2 by something. That's the first thing. So the first thing I'm just going to do straight away is make sure I lift myself up to the height where I can get a drop without a penalty, which is if you do this enough. So we just get high enough to clear a drop penalty, or eliminate any risk of a drop penalty. That's just the first thing that I do. So I've already started, and I'm gonna color this differently to contrast it, I guess. And then obviously the first thing I'm gonna do is a drop. Now the drop, it can be anything, but because I'm not really able to complete like a full drop here or go straight here without leaving space, I would then use the low turns here. What you can actually do, I wouldn't really bother with this until after the after you test the ride, is change this. You can adjust this to some low things like that and make the drop like that. Just whatever fits the agenda you want. I mean, if you think about it, we want to have space for an exit and an entrance anyway. And remember before I said in the Giga video, because this is only one car ride, you actually kind of want definitely want the entrance right at the front tile, and then the exit you'd want right next to it. But I have it here because just of what I explained at the start of the video. You also notice I built a bunch of stations, but not really too long, because I don't actually know how long this ride is going to be. But once this happens where I actually need to know, or I need to make this drop, then I actually have a better idea of how long the ride's going to be when I'm done with it. So I'm just matching up the station to that. And at the end, you can always delete the station and add like tiny little airtime hills. But at this point, so I need another drop. I'm pretty sure you need 3 drops in the wooden mouse design, but you can see at the end, eventually I'm going to put in so many drops, I'm going to go up and down a few times. I'm definitely going to clear that if I make a somewhat realistic design. So what I want to do is go back up, and you want to give yourself enough speed, obviously, to clear it. And you can see, if you give yourself too much speed, you will take too many lateral Gs. So you see I haven't taken too many, and you don't want to with this, with a wooden wild mouse, because it's already just a very intense ride. Like, very, very intense. And things you can play with. Like, for example, I actually started the ride, the first one I designed, by just turning like this, right as I've lifted. And then at this point, I want to think, okay, how do I want to get back to the station? So this, I'm going to delete this and try to finish this from scratch. Because I want to stick to 2x2, I actually want to leave this space open. What happens if I do this is I close the door, basically. So now, now that I'm in this spot, where am I going to go? I have to basically turn around, or I have to clear as much space as I can to try and get below. But you can see the stations below me as well. So I have no real way of getting back to that. So instead, what I do is I leave it flat, or you can even add like a little drop there or whatever, depending if you have enough space. And then go as far as you can. Like here, I'm just going to try. I can't turn, so I'm just going to delete one tile and then do the short turn. So now that there's space here, I can actually do a drop because I have room. Turn like that, and then I'm kind of in the same situation here. If I drop, I can't turn back, so I want to leave some space underneath, and then I can turn away. And again, like, this is also trial and error. Say if you wanted to, you could turn right here if you want, but I can't place a tile there. So what do? You delete and you add another flat tile, and then you try and turn, and now you can make it. And then now what I probably, you can work from the other end as well. So let's say, see how much you can get away with. How compact you can make the ride is actually trial and error at this point. I don't have a room here, so I'm going to have to add another station tile or a flat piece and then do that. And for this part of the ride, you can do this, I believe. Yeah. So this is actually longer than the design I had. It's not designed as well, but a lot of this is trial and error. And then at the end of the ride, what I did was, because I know I have to use this space to make it back, I can also use this space just to add another drop or something like that. And then back up and another like crest. And also increase the lift hill chain speed and stuff like that. I should have mentioned that in the Giga video, because not only does that obviously make the ride slightly faster, but it actually affects the stats of the ride because you're taking it at a higher speed. So just watch the car rather, make sure it makes it through everything. Take some pretty sharp turns at the end. And then you get your ride stats. And there you go. You got a pretty good design. Again, when it comes to designing coasters, it's basically about not getting penalized. If you don't take any penalties from not having enough drops or drop height or whatever, you will get rideable stats. And that's literally proven by the Marcel corkscrew design. It's just, all it does is just calculate things, and it doesn't penalize you, and the base stats of any ride that has no penalties is just higher than any good ride that's going to have a penalty. It's just kind of ridiculous. So yeah, 2.18 lateral Gs, 8 intensity. You don't want to take anything too crazy fast. Like I would avoid I gotta unpause in track designer. That's hilarious. You can use all these tools. I don't think to teach that. Like I would avoid doing this, not because of anything other than the fact that you are taking this at too high a speed for a wooden wild mouse. You'll see get a penalty, and the intensity is extreme. And we haven't even gone over 3.1 lateral Gs, but still it's quite a lot. So yeah. Don't do that last thing that I just did. Everything else is fine. And if the station's too long, what you can do if you have room to do it, if we... let's delete this and spawn the same design in. Like, for example, here, if you have room to do it, you can add in, like, just another little hill or something. It's just free stats for your ride, basically. It means you have less cars, but this is in a situation where if you have more cars than you need, and there's just always dead cars, like, it's just better this way. The stats are kind of negligible when you do something like this, but it is an option. With a design like this, though, I would definitely put the exit closer to the thing. The other one, as I explained that at the start of the video, why I have the exit there. But yeah, this is debatably a better design, actually. It's 10 more excitement, literally just from adding that hill. But that's all totally up to you. But yeah, that's how I designed this wooden coaster, this wooden wild mouse.